country has its sights and its sounds. Some are seen and some are hidden. The Gambia Uncharted will be looking at the rough, the rugged, the remote parts of what make up this beautiful flat land we call ours, our home, our country, the Gambia. See, if you want to know this country, you have to be able to get to parts unknown, to get to parts uncharted, parts that are very difficult to get to or even access. And that's what Gambia Uncharted will do. We'll be looking at the foods, the cultures, the people, and the activities in these areas. Welcome to my Gambia, the Gambia I know, the Gambia I love, and the Gambia from the vantage point of my lenses. A rugged explorer, an explorer who wants to see the country in a different light, the country that most don't see, the landscape that most don't know about. And that's what I will venture into, and that's what I will show to the world. Follow me. Gambia Uncharted. Another day, another adventure. Adventure for Gambia Uncharted. And today it brings me to a place called Fort Bullen. Follow me and see what Fort Bullen is all about. Wow, a breezy day at Fort Bullen. See, this site is very important. This site has a lot about who we are as Gambians and how far we came. Slavery was abolished in this part of the world around 1807. Inasmuch as slavery was abolished, many unscrupulous traders still dealt in the human cargo. At some point, the British decided to curb the illegal trade that's been going on. So around 1820, 1826, the British built a 6 battery in Banjul facing the mouth of the river in what we call today the current State House. And sometime in 1826, they came to the lower part of Nyomi, precisely Barra Point, and put up another fort, and that is Fort Bullen. This is it. Fort Bullen, here I come. Wow. Wow. Fort Bullen served a multi-purpose. Post-slavery and before the end of colonialism, slavery just got redundant as a business. And what we see here is an surface-to-air artillery that was used during World War I and World War II. So basically, if you look at this underground, you see something like a compass. It shows the different degrees all the way to 360, and it's well mapped. That's 170 all the way, 0. So that's a 360, and that's the battery of the gun right here. And basically this is what moves. So the Royal Air Force used this place during World War II to be shooting on German airplanes. So Fort Bullen really served more than a purpose as it relates to slavery. And the beauty of the fort is it's sitting on a highland. As I stand right here, I can see a straight line of sight to Banjul, and I can see coastal Banjul. Equally, I can see Old Cape. That's Cape Point right there. And where we are right now is called the Barra Point. And the Barra Point is adjacent straight to Cape Point and equally a straight equidistance to Banjul. And that's why this place has been very strategic as a defense mechanism along the River Gambia, because this is the River Gambia. We are in front of the River Gambia. These spaces are used by the artillery people. Basically, this is in defense of the fort. So they'll put their rifles right here. They have a plain sight of vessels that are on the mouth of the river, and they can shoot straight from these holes. And that's what these are meant, and they're meant for. And you can see it's all over the fort on all four sides of it. And that's a defensive tactic that the fort uses. Well, this looks like a cellar where captives were kept until they're either released or taken back to where their homes are. What you can see in here is a place where, let's say, a vessel has been destroyed and the slaves have been captured. They're kept in here, and there was a door here. That's the door. And this to show you how strong this fort was. And wow. Real. This is something else. Amazing masonry done in here, and it shows the fortitude, what they've used to fortify this place. And it says a lot, and I like what I see here. And this place also has a little bit of artifacts. Look at the walls. Chiseled gravel. This is painstaking. Takes a lot of time. And what do we see here? This is Fort Bullen as it looked in 1840. Amazing. So these are the batteries, all facing one place. And they have the staff quarters. And what do we find here? Relics of slavery. This man is saying, I've been held against my will. I don't want to be a slave. They show slavery once again. And this is what they're talking about, forced labor, no freedom. And this is how our people ended up in the New World. This is how we populated the Caribbean. This is how we populated North America and even Europe and Cuba and other places. And you know what? It's been an awful, awful sin to humanity. And lest we forget, and we should not. And that's why we want to talk about it. And that's why I am here today as Gambia Uncharted in Fort Bullen and trying to see what's out here.
Okay, you're welcome to the museum. So the museum was opened here 2013 by the British High Commissioner. So this is the time when slavery was stopped every country, you see. Because when you go to England, slavery was stopped there 1807. Gambia was stopped 1826. America, slavery was stopped there 1865. Up to Mauritania in 1981. But the Mauritanian slave is called domestic slave. Slave, they don't go out. They only stay in Mauritania. Fort Bullen was named after this man called Charles Bullen. So that's why the fort is named Fort Bullen. So when you go to the other country, the British uses navy boat capturing the slave to be free. But Africa, this is the only fort they built to stop slavery. This is the model of Fort Bullen. So that's the main gate. You see, the other gate by the sea. This gate was during the World War II. Before World War II, the British soldiers, they came here to against the government of France. That's called Vichy. They are the one who colonized Senegal. Senegal is surrounded this country by three sides. After the British, they modified the gun with the two ammunition magazines. In case of when France want to attack Gambia from Senegal, they will also and this place was come to UNESCO in 2003. This is James Island. Now they changed it to Kunta Kinte Island. So Kunta Kinte Island was supposed to be built to keep slaves. So when the British want to stop slavery, they stop this island. They found Banjul. When they found Banjul, they built this cannon at the State House so that they will control the mouth of the river Gambia. But because of the cannonball is very heavy, when they fire, the ball can only go half. The enemy can easily come close to the side, escape with their slaves. This is why Fort Bullen was built, so that they will complement together. And that's the British coat of arms. The British Royal Coat of Arms, that's called United Kingdom. This is Scotland, England, Wales, Ireland. If you want to read it, both French, English, J.M. Mondroit, English, God and my right. So these are the people who was fighting for the abolition of the slavery. When the slavery was stopped in England, you have Queen of Matamba, Wilberforce, England, Thomas Clarkson, England, Grandal Sap from England. He's the founder of Freetown. He was helping the slaves to go back to their own country. Harriet Thomas from America, very powerful lady. This lady was having the underground tunnel from America to Canada. All the slaves, they escaped through that tunnel. This is why now the American new $20, the picture is there. So you have good people, good fort. So that's the triangular slave trade. Triangular slave, because this is Europe. The European coming to Europe, they bring the European good. Africa, they get African good. America was called New World, they get American good. All the American good, they take it back to Europe. Slavery in Gambia is over 400 years, and 15 million African, they ship it to America, what they estimate. So this is a slave ship. The slave ship, no engine. It's a sailing boat. Slave, they just give him a little food or little water just to keep them alive. If you die or if you're sick, they throw it from the water. This is the interior of parking the slave, because this boat is empty. This one, they are loading the slave. Now this is full. They are inside the boat here. That's why many slaves, they die on the way. Sometimes this is the number of slaves to be arrived, because they consider a best number. Considering of 39 men, 15 boys, 24 women, and 16 girls just arriving. How many slaves depart from Gambia and Senegal? That's the total. But Africa is 15 million. This is a slave world market day, because this is Gambia Negro to be sold on Tuesday, 7th of June. 35 days they spend in the sea before they arrive to America, in Gambia, because Gambia River is the most navigable river in West Africa. Slave primary age was between 20 to 40 years, because 20 to 40 years, you are very strong. Later they allow children. These are the instruments for the slave. This one is the whip to beat the slave, because slavery was just like a domestic animal. So that's the whip. This one is called mouth guard. Slave, when they are in the plantation, you cannot talk, you cannot eat. If you are talking, they fix the mouth guard from your mouth. It's a punishment. The other one is called Brining Iron. This company is from England. It's called ATI. So when they are in the slave, they put this one to the fire just to mark you. Then the name will come out. So this is a handcuff. This one for their leg, that one for their neck. The last one is the caravan. When they capture them, they tie them like they so many kilometers in the boat. If you die, they leave you there in the boat. When you die, they do throw you from the water. The other section of the museum, before the European arrived to the country, there was a king. This man was called Brunei Sonko. He was the king of Bara. But first time the British there were Banyan. The king of Banyan was called Tumani Bojang. But because of this cannon in Banyan cannot reach to Fort Belen, they come and see Brunei Sonko. King William was the Ivy of England. So they signed the ceded mile. All this area is the area to Brunei Sonko. Annually they pay $400. And there was a war between the British with the man that's called Bara War in 1831. So over 11 Europeans died in the war, 57 they are wounded. That's why they built this Fort Banyan. This is called Fort Lobel. They built Fort Lobel to fight with Brunei Sonko. Those are the bottles they use for their palm wine. Then you have the ceremonial stick for the king. These people, they call them Signare. Many other Europeans, they call mulatto. Because mulatto, when the first European arrived here, it was the Portugal. They intermarried with the European. Their skin is very light, like a European skin. They copy a European style because their language is a European language. They always light pipe for smoking.
This can be emotional. This can be a tough look. Because this place literally showed a place that could have been the last call for an African who would have left here and to the New World, the last piece of land they would have seen. Because that's the Atlantic Ocean, that's the mighty Atlantic. And once they leave this, it means they have escaped from the enforcers of the slavery ban. And a lot of people, this would have been their last point of hope. The importance of this site can't be underestimated, nor can it be disregarded. It's our history, an ugly part of it, but the good thing is it will be preserved. It is part of the World Heritage Sites of UNESCO, and that means this place is here to stay, and we will make sure subsequent generations of Gambians and descendants of slaves know about this place and the purpose it served in trying to deter the ugly trade that consumed us as Africans. Hey, welcome once again to Gambia Uncharted. As we venture into a slavery expedition, we finished Fort Belen and now we're at Jufureh. Jufureh is the village of the River Gambia. A lot happened here and Kunta Kinte Island, formerly St. James Island. Kunta Kinte is from Jufureh and many Gambians were shipped out of this place to destinations unknown in the diaspora. So follow me as I venture out to go and see what's out there at that island right there, Kunta Kinte Island. Off we go to Kunta Kinte Island, formerly James Island. Getting closer to Kunta Kinte Island, formerly St. James Island. Coming here is a pilgrimage, an homage to many of fallen Africans who passed through the last door of no return. From here, the first port of call most of them got to see was Virginia and or South Carolina. That's why many of the diasporans, especially African Americans, trace their roots from this part of the world. Alex Haley from Tennessee rediscovered his roots right here in Jufureh, a place in the Gambia. And he came up with an epic series called Roots. Roots has a lot of characters that bring back haunting memories. The Chicken George, people whose slavery is made, I don't know, it's just tough talking about these people. But a dignified gentleman by the name of Kunta Kinte left Africa for a long time, and finally his great-grandson brought him back home. And it all started here, Kunta Kinte Island. Gambia Uncharted decided to come to Kunta Kinte Island, formerly St. James Island. One, to be at peace with the past. Two, to pay respect toward their elders that were taken across the Atlantic without their own will. And lastly, to show the world the relics and vestiges of what colonialism has done to Africa, particularly Gambia. It has ravaged a society, a generation. It has costed the development of this continent. The world needs to see this. But more importantly, the Gambia needs to sell whatever is left of this thing we call Kunta Kinte Island. I am standing on solemn ground, and I'm pretty sure many women walk these hallways, these hollow hallways, crying, being raped, being maimed, and being abused. Many a gallant hero, men, walk in dignity, knowing they'll never get to see from whence they came. So for my brothers and sisters in the diaspora, you are not alone. Your pain is our pain. And the way to find closure is to come back and visit. It's almost sunset. And I'm thinking of boats setting sail to Richmond, to Charleston, to Norfolk, to New England. And who are these people? My great-great-grandparents. Hence, our relationship with you. We are one family. And what divided us is the ones that crossed the Atlantic and never had a chance to come back. So long. And my people from the diaspora, Gambia embraces you with love, with open arms, and say, come back from whence you came. This is the ruins that made our forefathers became African Americans, British Africans, Afro-Caribbeans, you name it. Let us come back and pay homage to this sacred ground. The Gambia with love to all. Thank you, and this was Gambia Uncharted.